from Montana's news leader.
Thanks for spending part of your night with us. I'm Tim McGonigal. There are no new reported cases of coronavirus in Montana. And from the Capitol today, Governor Steve Bullock announced the availability of $123 million in emergency grant funding for families, small businesses, and others hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic. This first round of emergency grants was funded through the Federal Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act. The funding will be allocated through 9 programs that are designed to address key COVID-19 issues, including emergency housing assistance, reducing social isolation among seniors, small business stabilization, and public health grants. Montana was allocated $1.25 billion in CARES Act funds, the federal minimum amount for states. Bullock says the state will use this first round of funding to help determine where the need is most so they can adjust later as funding is needed.
And Montanans have made it clear that we must step in and do everything possible to ensure that small businesses can responsibly reopen, that nonprofits can continue to serve our communities, that homeowners can stay in their homes, and Montanans most in need have access to services.
Beginning Thursday at 8 a.m., people will be able to apply for assistance at covidrelief.mt.gov. After a grant is approved, the state's plan is to send the money as soon as possible. Well, as the state starts to reopen, economic development leaders are hoping to help business owners unsure of what to do next. The Great Falls Development Authority continues to support local economies in the Golden Triangle and beyond through a number of free resources. Those include the Hibernation, Resiliency, and Reopening Toolkits. Business owners can find everything from cash flow spreadsheets to best business practices after reopening. Senior Vice President Jolene Schalper says no matter what phase your business is in, making sure you have a solid financial team in place is key.
And that includes your bankers, your accountants, your insurance agency, your lawyers, and your business advisors like the Small Business Development Center.
Another update from the GFDA. As of Monday, the Small Business Administration has reported around $140 billion remaining funds in the Paycheck Protection Program. Schalper says along with PPP, agriculture business owners can apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL. We have more information on both programs on our websites. Well, across Montana, the fates of bonds, levies, and school boards are being shaped on this election day. The polls close tonight at 8. MTN's Jennifer Walter has more from Montana Expo Park Exhibition Hall on the races and issues in Great Falls.
Today is the last day to turn in your ballot for the 2020 school election, where you're going to have the option to vote either for or against the elementary operational levy, as well as voting for trustees for the school board for Great Falls Public Schools. Now, if for any reason you lost your ballot or just never received one, there's going to be officials here at the Montana Expo Park that'll be able to assist you with that until 8 o'clock tonight. So make sure you get down here, make sure that you get your vote to count, and if you already have your ballot and just need to turn it in, you can turn it in here at the Expo Park or at the Cascade County Elections Office on 2nd Avenue as well. In Great Falls, Jennifer Walter, MTN News.
Helena voters will also elect new school board members, and in Townsend, voters will decide the fate of nearly $19 million bond for a new elementary school. We'll bring you the latest results tonight at 10. The East Helena School District will make its final decision tonight on whether to continue remote learning for the rest of the school year. The school board is holding a special meeting, which began at 5:30. Superintendent Ron Whitmoyer says leaders waited to make their decision to see if Governor Steve Bullock made any changes to guidelines for school districts. Montana City schools are also deciding tonight whether to return to in-person classes this year. Other local districts, including Helena, Townsend, Lincoln, and Augusta, and Great Falls, have already said that they will continue with remote learning. Well, in 2019, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued warnings to companies selling the drug Kratom, which is legal in Montana despite having no FDA-approved uses. As MTN's Matt Holzaffel reports, there is some growing concern amongst state officials that the drug could become a bigger issue.
Kratom is a plant that grows naturally in several Southeast Asian countries and has made its way to the United States.
It's commonly used as a pain reliever or sometimes as a means to get off opioid addiction.
Several officials in Cascade County, from doctors to judges, have expressed their concern about the drug's presence in the community.
You know, when we've got medical facilities that are seeing what they're seeing in their ERs, and we've got addiction counselors telling us that, you know, what they're seeing with their clients, and then the police reports and working with law enforcement and working with other community members on our Substance Abuse Prevention Alliance, it is a big concern.
The drug is often marketed as a natural alternative to treating depression or anxiety, a way to boost energy and focus, or even in some cases, a way to overcome opioid addiction.
You can buy it in gas stations, and so it's not regulated. So you might get one capsule or one packet that's got a certain potency, and you might get something else, you know, the next time.
Kratom is illegal in 5 states, and while the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration has had discussions about making it a Schedule I drug, that move still hasn't been made. This Friday, the Cascade County Substance Abuse Prevention Alliance will be delivering letters to every convenience store, gas station, and tobacco store in the county in an attempt to inform them about the risks of selling kratom.
Working with our retailers, they might not be aware of what actually they're selling. So we're just hoping to open that dialogue and see if we can bring more awareness into our community of these things that are floating around our community.
In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Well, our Storm Tracker weather team is tracking some showers and storms in our near future, but for now, our weather is nice and calm. Brandon Michaels joins us now. Brandon, sounds like this may be the nicest weather we get for a while.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case. I definitely recommend people get out, enjoy this weather while you can, because we've got a lot of rain in the forecast. But for now, really nice. 62 in Great Falls, 60 in Havre, a little chillier in Lewistown. But look at Helena. You guys are closing in on 70 degrees. Really nice day across parts of Montana here. Was a chilly start to the day, though. It was actually below freezing in Helena. Got all the way down to 26 this morning in Great Falls, which actually tied a record. So pretty chilly start to the day, but the temperatures did rebound nicely. The biggest improvement over yesterday has to be the wind, though. We still got a couple of breezier spots off in eastern Montana. Places like Miles City have been a little bit windier, but most of us have been nice and calm through the day, and also nice and sunny through the day. We've got one or two little areas of showers that have developed here on the Doppler network, but more sunshine than anything else. You do see a little bit of moisture building to the west. That's not what we're focused on. We've got a storm system even farther to the west that's going to be moving in, and really by this time tomorrow, showers and storms are going to be all across the area, and we'll talk more about those later in the show.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, the Montana Department of Justice released an analysis today breaking down the facts around 3 years of Montana missing persons data. MTN's John Riley has a look at the findings.
The Montana Department of Justice released a breakdown of missing persons from 2017 through 2019. Of the 3,200 unique individuals reported missing, there were no significant difference in gender, but most cases were children and teens.
It's very striking that 81% of the people that go missing in Montana are under the age of 18. When you look at them as a proportion of the state population, they only make up 21.6%. So it's very much skewed towards juveniles.
Data indicated a strong correlation between childhood trauma and missing juveniles. Some 60% of missing person reports represented someone who had gone missing more than once. The state also saw significant growth and accuracy of reports from reservations in recent years. The increase in reports also helped highlight issues faced on Montana reservations. Bighorn County, which is home to both the Crow and Northern Cheyenne reservations, was nearly double per capita the number of missing persons compared to the next highest county. And Indigenous peoples are 4 times more likely to be reported missing. The state says at this point it's too soon to make a definitive conclusion from the data, but it helps inform policymaking going forward.
These are just statistics that we've talked about today. They can't tell every individual story, but the Department of Justice did this to help find answers to the most basic questions of not just who is going missing, but why, and what can we do about it.
Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
According to the findings, 97% of people reported missing in Montana during the 3-year period were found, and every Amber Alert resulted in the child being found safe. Well, we've yet to get to the primary, but the leaders in the Montana U.S. Senate race have their sights set on November. Results from a new poll, and the news continues.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. The U.S. Senate race between Governor Steve Bullock and Republican incumbent Steve Daines is certainly one of the top Senate contests in the country. It's expected to be competitive. Now, a new poll from Montana State University shows that's precisely the case and has Bullock actually leading Senator Daines. MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison tells us more about the poll and the results.
The online poll conducted late last month asked registered Montana voters who they'd choose in Montana's U.S. Senate race if the election were held now. 46% said they would vote for Bullock, a Democrat, and 39% said Daines. 7% said they're undecided, and 6% said they'd vote for someone else. The poll also showed that 70% of Montanans approve of the job that Bullock is doing in response to the coronavirus pandemic. It asked the same question about Senator Daines' response, and just 48% said they approve, but 28% said they don't know. Montana State University political scientist David Parker told MTN News he's not surprised by the results, given the huge amount of publicity Bullock has received during the COVID-19 pandemic. But he notes that Bullock's lead is still within the poll's 4.6% plus or minus margin of error.
I think it's certainly reasonable to assume that the race is probably within the margin of error and too close to call. So yes, while we show a lead, again, it's within the margin of error. So I would say, yeah, this is a competitive Senate race, and I think our poll demonstrates that.
Still, he says the poll is worrisome for Senator Daines and good news for Bullock.
It just demonstrates the information advantage that executives have in times of crisis. So we got an information advantage. People like the job that Bullock is doing. He was already pretty popular. And then let's add the final piece of the equation. Steve Daines has been on TV since early March with television advertisements. Do you know how much Steve Bullock has spent on TV? Zero. So that certainly should be a cause for concern.
The poll also asked how Montana voters felt about President Trump and the presidential election. 53% said they approve of how the president is handling the COVID-19 pandemic. But in the fall presidential matchup against Democrat Joe Biden, 45.3% of Montanans said they would vote for the president, and 39.7% said they'd choose Biden, a difference of just 5.6 percentage points. Parker says that probably means Montanans are more open in 2020 to considering someone else besides Trump than in 2016. But that the president remains in good political position in the Big Sky state.
Does this mean that I think Montana's suddenly going to go Democratic in 2020? I don't. Yes, the race is within the margin of error, but if I were still laying down money in Vegas, I'd put money on Donald Trump winning Montana.
And one last thing to mention. It's only May. We have a political eternity until the November election and an unprecedented national crisis still unfolding. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
You can see the entirety of that MSU poll results on our website. Montana Senator Daines is pushing a bill to end what he says is American over-reliance on drug and medical equipment manufacturing in China. The bill, introduced last month by Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, would require all federally qualified health facilities to buy drugs without ingredients made in China. It also says drug companies must list their origin of the ingredients, and it would give tax advantages to companies expanding drug manufacturing in the U.S. Daines says China's lack of honesty about the coronavirus outbreak has made the COVID-19 pandemic much worse, and he says it's time to bring back drug and medical equipment manufacturing jobs to America.
America can't continue to rely on countries like China to manufacture our PPE and our critical drugs. China's lack of transparency and their cover-up of the coronavirus made the global pandemic much worse. It cost lives, and it devastated our booming economy.
The bill has yet to have a hearing in the Senate Finance Committee.
The skies may be clear right now, but we've got plenty of rain, even some mountain snow heading our way. We'll have the forecast coming up next.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
I definitely recommend enjoying what you see outside right now. Beautiful on the U.S. Bank Island and Great Falls. The Highwoods looking nice there. Nice blue skies. Temperatures are comfortable. We showed you about this graphic yesterday because we've got major changes heading our way. That high pressure almost right on top of us. That's responsible for those really nice conditions. That big area of low pressure, though, still churning off of the Pacific, and it's going to swing our way and bring in quite a bit of moisture as we head through the forecast. We've got a couple of scattered showers. Those aren't really related to what we're tracking in the forecast here. Maybe a little bit of rain toward Daniel, Sheridan, Roosevelt counties there and pushing into western Montana, but nothing all that significant here, and we're really not expecting anything significant through the evening. In general, fairly clear conditions. Nothing too big tonight. Even tomorrow, you're going to start off the day with some sunshine, except for maybe places like Helena and the Rocky Mountain front. You see that rain. That's poised to move in tomorrow. By noon, it's not really here. In fact, parts of the High Line, northeast Montana, are still nice and sunny. In fact, it's actually going to be a pretty nice day in northeast Montana tomorrow. Here's 3:30, though. That rain has moved into Helena. It's getting close to Great Falls, pretty much all along I-15, and it's going to continue to spread as we head into the evening hours. Probably a little bit of thunderstorm activity on the leading edge of that. Then we get into some heavy rain, and you can see some mountain snow as well as we head into the evening hours tomorrow. It's going to last into early Thursday, and still actually some lingering showers through the day on Thursday, but the better chance of rain is going to be tomorrow into tomorrow night. And again, mountain snow, a concern with that too. So a lot of moisture heading our way. How much? Let's take a look at the precipitation forecast here. So this counts for rain and any melted snow that would be falling. Helena, about 1/10 of an inch or so. I think they could actually pick up a little bit closer to 1/4 inch in Helena, but a lot of us in that 1/2 inch to 1 inch range. This is going to be a pretty heavy rain event moving in, so some much needed moisture, maybe some rises in creeks and streams, but northeast Montana, it looks like going to be pretty much missed out by this. Let's talk a little bit about that snowfall too, because we do have, anywhere shaded in the blue here, a winter weather advisory. That'll go into effect tomorrow night and last into early Thursday. Some heavy snow in the Little Belts, 5 to 10 inches at pass level there above 5,500 feet, and some snow along the northern divide too above 5,000 feet. So it isn't just a rain event here. We are tracking some snow, and with that we would expect some chilly temperatures, and we're going to see that overnight tonight. 39 in Fort Benton, 35 in Great Falls, 35 in Harlem as well, 36 for the overnight low in Glasgow. Through the day tomorrow, temperatures rising initially, mainly into the 60s, just enough to support a couple of thunderstorms here and there through the day. Actual high temperatures, a couple of spots warmer, closer to 70. In general, the farther west you go, the cooler it's going to be because the rain's going to arrive sooner. 68 in Glasgow, 70 the high temperature in Jordan. Winds are going to be gusty at times, and some spots mainly north and east of Great Falls seeing some wind gusts 20 to even 30 miles per hour for tomorrow. 7-day forecast now. Again, rain likely Wednesday and into Wednesday night. A couple of thunderstorms in there as well, but some heavier rain is really the big impact. A few showers on Thursday, and even a chance for rain as we head into the day on Friday. Saturday at this point looking fairly nice, just a little bit cooler than what we saw today. Additional slight chances for rain Sunday and Monday, and we finished the forecast a little on the cool side with temperatures in the 50s. Again, rain, some thunder possible tomorrow in Helena. A little bit cooler as that rain arrives earlier. Lingering showers behind that system on Thursday. More showers possible late in the day Friday, and slight chances on Sunday and Monday. Tim?
Thanks, Brandon. Montana is making it count again after taking a timeout. Census workers are ready to pound the pavement.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Well, the 2020 census could prove to be an especially important one for Montana, as the Treasure State is on the cusp of expanding its representation in Congress. The coronavirus pandemic threw a wrench into the Census Bureau's operations the last few months, but there's optimistic news this week. MTN's Isaiah Dunk explains.
After previously holding out hope for a return in early June, the U.S. Census Bureau announced Monday that some states will resume limited operations this week. Montana will be one of 13 states resuming update leave operations, which is where census workers physically visit addresses to leave informational packets to help residents respond. Update leave is especially important for Montana's rural areas and tribal nations. According to the Bureau, over 100,000 homes in Montana haven't gotten their packet yet. Despite that, the Treasure State's self-response rate is now at 48%, up from 43% about 2 weeks ago. If you have received your packet, you can use that information to respond to the census online, by phone, or mailing in the questionnaire. In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
Not only is today Cinco de Mayo, it's also Giving Tuesday. According to givingtuesday.org, the movement is about global generosity to help people and organizations transform their communities. Giving Tuesday now is focused response to COVID-19. Organizations across Montana can benefit, including Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Alliance for Youth, McLean Adoption, Animal Adoption Center, My Neighbor in Need, and many more. You can search organizations in your community on the givingtuesday.org website. We'll be right back with a final look at weather.
Welcome back. It's been a beautiful Cinco de Mayo so far, and it's going to stay pretty nice this evening. 61 degrees by 6 p.m. here and just coming up. 56 at 8, 48 by 10 p.m. Getting a little chilly tonight, but in general staying clear. Well, we've heard it all day. It is Cinco de Mayo, and in other years it's usually marked by hanging out with friends and family. But what are you really celebrating? On May 5th in 1862, the Mexican army defeated French troops in the Battle of Puebla. While it wasn't a major battle, it is a huge source of pride as the French army was much bigger. Nowadays, it's become a day for people all over the world to celebrate and show their pride in Mexican culture. Yeah, much different this year, but very different.
Still celebrate if you can.
Hopefully people are still enjoying it.
All right, that's all the time we have. We'll see you back here tonight at 10.